The speed logic is coming just after the structure logic. So the first element of the speed logic after determining the zones and the direction is to identify the speed at which the trend is going. So we have many elements here, just right here, that, that I will show you. But let me first of all start by explaining you the concept behind the speed logic. The concept behind the speed logic is that the price is moving to the upside like this, right? The price is moving to the upside this way, and then start going down. At the bottom here, you have a zone. Okay. When the price arrive and touch this zone, the speed that touch this zone, the speed that will make the price go to the upside from this cheap zone is this speed, the fast speed, because you know that the fast speed make the price reverse to the upside, right? So you know it. So that's the speed that will make the reversal. That's the reversal type of speed. So that will create this speed will create the reversal and make the the price go to the upside, because this speed means that the price cannot keep continuing going further down, and it must just reverse to the upside. So that's the speed that you find here in this zone. But after that, you have another zone here above. When the price will come to the upside and reach this zone, there is a speed that can break this zone. That speed is basically a snake, a fission snake. That's the speed that can break this zone. I call it a fission or snake, fission snake, just because most of the time, most of the time, the fission, the snake just means that Tenkan and Kijun are inclined to the upside at this together, like this one. At this level, Tenkan and Kijun were flat. That's why the price reversed, like the rail, the horizontal. So now, what will make the speed break this zone is the fact that you have a fusion or skinny. Tenkan and Kijun are separated just by a small distance between each of them. That's what can break the zone. So you have those two big speed categories. That's the concept behind the speed logic. That's the logical understanding of the intention of a speed. I will show and I will show you some example how the speed break the zones. I will show you some example how the speed break the zone. So now it is the speed of what? When you have a trend like this that is going to the upside, you can have this type of shape, right? You can have here you have this type of shape of the speed. And what happened is that you have now speed. I'll call it speed phases or speed steps. Speed step. The first step is the fusion. I will name it F. The fusion is just when you have this first course and Tenkan and Kijun are joined together, very joined. That's the fusion. Then you have the skinny. Tenkan and Kijun are separated, but by just a small distance, like 3 pips. Then you have the young speed, while Tenkan are more separated between each other, but not that far. Then you have the normal, the normal, the medium, the medium size. distance between each of them. After that, you start having the medium size can be till here, right? Then from this point, you have the python. You know that there is a snake that is called anaconda, another one is called python, right? This one you have a python that can reach up till here because a python is python in English. Le python. Is python in English? Let me try to translate it. I call it python because they call it in French le python. But is it python, python in English? I may just translate it like a village person. Yeah, it's a python, right? Uh, this snake is a big snake, right? That's why I call this python because it's bigger than those previous one. Then at the end we have the fat, the fat. So those are the element of the speed. Those are the step of the trend. Now the trend can reverse. You can have a reversal on these two. Those can be element. Those are can be speed of reversal. Mostly the fat. The Python 2, when the Python has reached the last stage. So those are the reversal sign. But the continuity speed, those are the reversal speed, but the continuity speed are those one below here. The fission, the skinny, the young, and the medium. Those are the speed for continuity of the trend. And those are also the speed that break. Those are the speed breaker that break what? The zones. When you have a zone like this and you have a very tight TK, it will break these zones. So that is the concept behind the speed logic that you need to have. You need to know when you reverse, when you break, when you continue. Okay. So with that said, let us then start with the first speed that is called the first course. The first course. Okay. The first course is let me take this one. Oh no, not that one. Let me take this one. Okay, let me take this one. You can have between TK, the first TK course here. The first course is just a point, right? It's just a point, just this point is the first course. When you have this first candidate this is the candidate that created the first course. So it is a great moment to enter when you see the first course, don't miss the entry. Like when you see the first course, don't miss the entry. I mean, mostly in 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Because sometimes you see the first course in 1 hour, but you cannot enter on the buy very soon here because it will not come and touch in 1 hour or in 15 minutes, you will not see the candle come and touching the 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 Kijun the Ishimoku lines. So that is the first. Let us look at, for example, you have this. This is the first course, for example. This is the first course. Yeah. It is great to enter. When you see the first course, just enter. You can just start entering here. That's the best entry, right? You enter here and you go. A very super nice, best, one of the greatest entry you will ever find. The very best entry. Then after that, you have the horizontal fusion. The horizontal fusion. Horizontal fusion is, for example, this one. Fusion is a momentum of a speed that carry a lot of weight, that carry a lot of power, a power to go up. For example, here we're going down, ticket cost were costing to the downside. But at this point, you have a huge a fusion that lasts 2 hours because the price wanted to go to the upside. And there is a there is an understanding about the fusion that I want to make sure that you get. If ticket costs were going to the downside, and then they come and meet each other and form a, a perfect fusion like this, how do you determine the direction of this fusion? Is it still to the downside? Is it still a downtrend orientation, or is it already an uptrend orientation? This is when you see a fusion, the orientation direction of the fusion counters just the previous separation. This one is an uptrend first. It is an uptrend. That's why when you saw when you literally saw this uh this fusion, that's why when you saw this fusion, the price did not go further down. It started going up, right? And another thing, now you have the fusion. Now there is something, the fusion that is horizontal means what? When the fusion is horizontal like this, it looks like a rail, like a tramway route, as I show you. So when you have a fusion like this, the candle will start going up and above, sideways around the Kijun and Tenkan fusion. That's what happened here. Go downs, then goes up, then go downs. That is the meaning of this horizontal. That's how this horizontal, that's the intention of this horizontal. That's the logic behind this intention. Okay. Okay, give me 1 second. I want to buy this trade. That is QNE paying. I want to buy this. I'm placing a stop loss. Um, what this one? I just bought the current price on USDGPY. So let me just buy this very quick. So um, this, this, screenshot. Let me screenshot. Okay. Okay, let me just send it in the group. By the deploy. Okay. All right. So I got this. Now, so as I said, as I said, is that horizontal fusion means the price will come down like this and do a little bit for a few moments. But the fact that you have already a fusion that counter the direction of a fusion counter the previous direction. So this one is a buy. That's why it was a buy. Even though it reduced a little bit here, created a second fake like this, but it went up. It was a buy. We were actually in a buy zone. So after that, what did I wanted to show you just right here? That carries a lot of weight, a lot of power. Then you have a fusion snake a fusion nervous snake. A fusion nervous snake. That is a little bit. That is the case just right here. That's the case just right here. You have this case. You have nervous snake is just because you have I call nervous snake when the inclination of Tenkan and Kijun are both in the same direction. And if it is also a fusion like this, it is very nervous. It is very like you want more power, you want more, more force. So how to make a decision? When you have a fusion, right? That is horizontal. You know that the price will go sideways. But if Tenkan and Kijun were going down like this, you can say that this fusion is to the upside, even if it will go sideways for one or two moves, but after they will go to the upside. But if you have a fusion that is going to the upside like this one, this fusion just means that the price is going to the upside. As simple as that. It is the horizontal fusion because of the horizontal market that I'm telling you that it will go sideways. But this fusion that's inclined, the inclination fusion like this that has nervous snake, more shows that the price is going to the upside. As simple as this. And one thing with the fusion is that fusion was like this one, the price is going to the upside. You see, this horizontal fusion here proves what? The previous TK cross was going to the downside. But this fusion, first of all, make the price go to the upside. First of all. That's first of all the role of the fusion. And then this other fusion here confirm the inclination to the upside. For this horizontal fusion just right here, it did not make the price go sideways like this because it was not a long fusion, or the price did not want to do that for any reason. That did not happen at that place. So what I can say is that when I started using Ishimoku, my first identification of Ishimoku that really pleased me was the fusion. What happened is that I had a Profem account of 50K and I were in phase one. To pass the phase one, I needed 55K, right? So what happened is that I didn't know how to read Ishimoku like I'm showing you guys now. I were very new. So I only knew that fusion is a huge impulsion. So I will go to the side of the fusion. So I was waiting the fusion all of the time, that the fusion should happen. So at one point in time, I made my account grow to 54,500 just using fusion in 4 days. And I were risking like huge because you know that I was a beginner. So I was taking first of all big lots, like my lot was big, and I was not that calculating it. I was just putting big lot because I realized that I don't know if it was 5 lot or 4 lot that were giving me 2,000 position. One position was 2,000 like that. I was a noob, but it made me grow my account to 54,500 dollars. I was close to pass this. But since I was a noob, I did not know how to, first of all, calculate the lot. So I was putting just random lot. But I was using only one education, that was the fusion. Because the particularity with the fusion is that, right? I realized that when the fusion comes, it doesn't give you any red candles. The red candle just happened after this fusion. But from the in between those two fusion, you see no red candle. So I realized that I said that is a glitch. Let me use it in my advantage. So I was entering a position just in one candle just right here like this. And then when I start seeing a 1 minute red candle, I exit. But I was risking so big, right? That's why I came close to, I was taking like one position a day if you take profit of 1,500. That's why I had that success so fast as a noob, as a beginner. So, but I was not able to read everything very well because what happened is that the fusion doesn't happen all of the time. This is one fusion. You can have another fusion, in another part of the market, like yeah, this is also a fusion, but it doesn't happen all of the time. It happens, but this is also a fusion just right in. It doesn't happen always. This is also a fusion, and this is a fusion. In between two fusion, you can wait how many days? You can wait like 1 day, 24 hours. But the problem is that when the fusion doesn't happen, you are missing out an opportunity, right? Since I was just looking at fusion, I was not looking at all of this whole opportunity that I could have take, I could have made even 94 pips. So what happened is that in difficult market, what I call difficult market back then was market where I saw red candles. I didn't like red candles at that time. It was hurting my capital. So in these red candles, I didn't know if I enter year or year. I didn't even know those year. When I was seeing green candle, I was just entering. But as soon as I see this green candle and the market has already pushed to the upside, and I buy here and I place my stop loss here, since my position is $2,000, then I lost that phase one, that capital too, because of my lack of skills to identify all type of trend. Because what I'm showing you now, I'm showing you the whole trend, the fusion, the skinny, the young, the medium, the python, the fat. I was just hanging out on and relying on only one. That happened even rarely, all right? And that is why I lost, because I didn't have the full mastery of my ability. That's why I lost my capital. But actually, I got near to to the win. But if a noob get near to the goal with the ball, he will always and most of the time shoot the ball in the air. You will make an air ball or shoot on the spectators. So, but that's just to tell you that fusion is a huge momentum point. It's a huge momentum point that you should not neglect it. You should not like play around. You should be present when the fusion happens. It's the best volume. It has so much power. For example, when you look at this one was an economic news. These ones don't just tell you that, okay, I'm about to go down, but I'll create a little bit of a fusion, but I'll give you best entry just right here above, but I'm going down. It has a huge move, and you could have just take this position just right here, placing your stop loss just on the high, on this high, having a 5 risk reward 78 pips. That's what the fusion gives. But it will make you, it will give you that opportunity within like just 2 hours, rather than waiting. Sometimes you can wait some opportunity for like 15 hours, like you hold one day. But there are some fusion that give you just 2 hours and you make back your money. But since it's not about the hours, it's about the mindset, it's about the intention, it's about the logical. It's not about the time, the number of hours, but it's about the intention. It's about the logical, the intention, the logics, right, of the market. It's not about the time, the amount of time it takes, but it's about the intention and the logic that you have, the logic of your reading capability, not your reading capability, the logic of your understanding what Ishimoku volumes tells you. That's why you have me, Vegeta, who can actually give you the lecture. So let us pass. I've spent a lot of time here right here, but it's good to spend some time sometimes. Now the next phase is after the fusion is the fresh separation. The fresh separation is just like this. Can I see it? I want to see it. Like, let me check the Dow Jones. Maybe on the Dow Jones, I would say. Okay. See this fresh separation. Do you see this fresh separation? Like fresh separations, I wanted to see a live market to show you it. The ticket cost just crossed now, like just now, like it is after this point, right? After this first cross, the fresh separation is just like fresh now. When you see the fresh separation, be ready to buy it. I mean, if this one is a buy, I do not say that it's a buy, because if you want to know if inflation this one is a buy, you need to go on 1 hour and 4 hour to confirm some things, right? Like A plus it up just right there or some changing of direction. But let us say that is a buy. When this one is a buy direction, right? Don't miss out this fresh separation. Like, do everything. But the fresh separation is the best entry. Best entry, you should be in the trade already. You should be in the trade already, like even just right here like this. Because see, most of the time when he created this fresh separation like this one is already a fresh, it's also a fresh separation. When you create that fresh separation, when the price create that fresh separation, it gives you an entry with the wick inside Tenkani. That is like the best separation of all of this. The best entry of all of the entries, the fresh separation. So don't miss it out. Don't play around with it. Don't joke. Another fresh separation bond. Oh, anyway. So let us keep going. Then you have fresh separation with snakes inside. Uh, Fresh separation just means there's a small space between. So, for example, this one, you have the first cross here, then you have fresh separation with snake here. You see snakes. Tenkan is going to the upside, Kijun is going. Snakes is just the fact that Tenkan goes to the upside, Kijun goes to the upside at the same times. And my best snakes are when there is a small space between Tenkan and Kijun, like this one. That's the fresh separation with snakes. That's what I'm talking about. That's why Ishimoku is the good. And it's the best time to enter there. Just be ready to enter. Don't miss out. Don't miss it out. Don't joke around. Don't start arguing with the price just right here. Now you have the skinny horizontal. Let's go back in the horizontal skinny. Skinny is also a best time. Okay, let me show you here. This one is the skinny. What do I call skinny? Skinny, is that right? You have TK cross like this, right, to the downside. And then Tenkan Kijun will continue being a little bit flat. Tenkan will start going a little bit down, making like some stairs, but the space between them will be very tight, but like a bubble or like a miondo, like a just like a finger, as tight as a finger, right? It will not be fat like this, and it will not be inclined to the downside with a hard angle. It will be just a little like horizontal, but not very horizontal, but going down but slowly. That's what happened just right there. This is, for example, a skinny. It is like horizontally inclined, but sometimes it make as if it goes up, but it's going down. And Kijun is going a little bit down also. Like you have this type of shape, like horizontally but down at the same time. That's skinny. It is tight. So it's also a best time to enter. You can have 9 skinny stairs, right? Like this. What do I call skinny stairs? Tenkan is going down like a stair like this, right? You see some separation. So you can be even placing your footstep, climbing the hill, right? And Kijun is doing the same thing, making some inclination to the downside at the same time. Okay. Now you have skinny nervous snakes. Those are the best time to enter. Everything that I'm just talking about, fusion, fresh cross fusions, fresh separation, skinny, you could have entered just right here from this first cross separation. Then you have this skinny door, then you enter here, you have this skinny stairs. You enter here at the cells, as cells. Nothing will have threatened your stop loss from the first entry. Nothing will have threatened your stop loss. Nothing. Because as soon as Tenkan and Kijun are stay separated to the downside, they are the they are you have no threat about your stop loss. Instead, you can enjoy the ride and just enjoy the profit. All of this could have been entries. Now, skinny snakes are like this one. The distance between Tenkan and Kijun is super tight, and but it is going down. Tenkan and Kijun are going down like this at this point. That is skinny snake. Even here, this also is skinny snake. Best entry was just right here. After that, when you see snakes, you can miss. You should be in the trade already before the snake happen. Normally, but anyway, um, okay, right. Um, so be aware of the speed of the snake. The snake sometimes has a lot of speed because an inclination to the downside like this carry a lot of weight, a lot of speed that the candle will not have enough room to come back to the can. But when it was a little bit horizontal like this or going down like stairs, you could have had some weeks that come back to the candle. So to the tenkan. So you should be very aware of the fact that snakes, each time you will see a snake, right, an inclination, you can miss the opportunity. If the snake is very powerful to sell, you could have missed the entries because the candle will not come back to tenkan. So don't miss the entries just because, like for example, see this. This is a hard snake, right? Going to the upside. No candle just touch tenkan. So so next is the young. There is a young horizontal, young rail, young space incline. So let me young space snakes. Let me start with these young space snakes, or not. Anyway, let me start with young horizontal. This young, for example, you can have an opportunity to enter just right here in this young. You can have an opportunity to enter in this young. And let me show you the young. The young is when the candles, the ticket is above the cloud. And let me tell you something also while I'm looking for that young. Those phases of those phases like fusion, skinny, young, medium, python, and fat. Not all ticket separation, like from the first cross to the recross, just right here. Oh look, there are some trend who can have all of these all of these steps, all of these elements. You can have the fusion, the skinny, all of them are in one trend. But there are some who can miss some element like the fusion may not be there or the skinny may not be there. It will start with the young directly, right? Or there are some trend who will not have the Python. So take it like the global idea of what I'm telling you. Take it as a global idea of what I'm trying to show you. Because there are some trend who will not have some element, but a whole complete trend has all of this. And sometimes you can even start with the medium trend than starting with the fusion. Okay. So anyway, were we looking at? we're looking at we were looking at we were looking at what young horizontal. So let me look at the young horizontal. Can I have long? Let us go on the beacon. It happens sometimes. Uh, okay. Uh, let us take this one. So young just means that Kijun and Tenkan are above the cloud, right? And then the cloud, the TK is separated, but not that big, not that small either. And you have something horizontal like this. That's what I call yon horizontal. Okay. But then you have yon rail, like this one too. You can have some rail. When you see yon rail and yon horizontal, you can have some opportunity to enter here at KSB, Kijun, or Tenkan just right here. It can also give you good entries. That's why you need to understand. When TK is above the cloud, it can give you good entries. Because the first cross generally happen before the cloud. But after the cloud, I call it young already. Okay. So then you have young rail, good entry, or if you are already in the trade from far behind here, you can start holding. You keep holding because your trade is not threatened by anything. You keep holding the position at the young. Okay. Or if you are not in, or you want to re-enter, you can still enter just at Kijun's here. Then you have young space incline. So young space incline is like you are above the cloud, and then young is not a big separation. You are, for example, this one. You are already on the other side of the cloud, and all of this is a young, right? It's more of young space snakes. It's more of young space snakes because Tenkan and Kijun are both of the inclined to the downside. But it is still young, it's not yet fat, right? So those are best time to hold the position, I think. Not I think, I see, because you will not have any Tenkan touching. Mostly in 1 hour, 15 minutes, 4 hour. Tenkan doesn't touch too much the can, the can that doesn't touch too much Tenkan when you are already, the speed is already young after the cloud. So that's what you need to realize about it. Another thing is what? So put in mind that you should have been entered in this trade. For example, at this fusion, you could have entered here. This skinny, you could have entered here. You could have also entered here. You could have just all entered here. There's nothing bad to enter at all of this position. But when the young start, you should be just holding the position than keep entering, right? Than looking for more sales here. And it is even the best time to sell just above here. And what can make you sell just above here? It can be an A plus setup here, a zone in high time frame like 4 hour, 1 hour daily, or an A plus setup. Let us even check it. If you go on 4 hour, do we have an A plus setup just right here? Yes, you are in an A plus setup at 4 hour. An inverted Kijun candle are in the space. So yeah, that's what make you sell. So let us continue with the medium. It's surprising that I did not translate this one. Medium horizontal. This is medium. All of those are mediums. Medium. Like the middle, the middle. Okay. The medium horizontal happens sometimes like on the other side of the cloud. For example, here, you can have a ticket that's above the cloud now, and that is just like horizontal like this. It will give you some opportunity to enter. Yeah, okay. It will give you two opportunity to enter because that's the KSB setup, right? But in my opinion, but not in my opinion, who am I? Ishimoku is everything. Ishimoku is the master. Vegetal raging language is the master. So from the vegetal raging language, the opinion is that those make jump horizontal are best place to hold because if you enter here, it's not as best as if you have entered just down here. You miss out some pips, right? In comparison. So it is also a good entry. Also, it's a more secure entry because you have the KSB. But compared to the golden cost, just right there below, it can be, it will not be best. Okay. But you can still find entry. So, but from the medium, from this medium, right, is the best hold of opportunity. The best of it, of the medium, is the best hold opportunity. Then you can also have a medium holding, a medium rising to the upside, like the medium size between Tenkan and Kijun, but going to the going down. Like for example, this the the size of between the size between TK is that medium like this. All right, it's fat, but it's not fat. It's not skinny. It's not young, but it's like the size is medium, and it can continue down. That's not even the best example. That is screwing my example. Let me go on gold maybe. On gold maybe. For example, here, the size between Tenkan and Kijun are not, the size is not fat, is not small, is not too skinny, it's not skinny, it's just medium. And it can, that's then when you have uh, the medium nervous snake. Nervous snake just means that Tenkan and Kijun are both looking down, both inclined to the downside, both bended down. That's what I call nervous snake. Because when you just look at this inclination and this inclination, and we are just in this candle, this is very, very inclined, right? It's very nervous as a snake. There's now also major running vertically. Major running vertically is sometimes when the trend, when the trend is very long, the upside. Okay. Uh, yeah, like this one. See this space. The space between Tenkan and Kijun here is medium, right? But it would take like a long, it will keep going up like that long, long and longer. This happened a lot on gold, Dow Jones, SP 500, like those NDCs and Bitcoin. Those pairs who most of the time they just rise up. Um, then medium right. Medium right is simply like you just get out of the cloud and then you have a fat a rail. Like what, for example? It's difficult to. Okay, let us take this one. This one can be a major brain, right? You just get out of the cloud and then you have a it's not a fat separation, it's not a skinny separation, but it's just like in between the middle. That can give you an opportunity as soon as you are out of the cloud. Okay. Then let us go to the Python. But those mid jump, right? Those mid jump speeds are best to hold the position. Not those are not best to enter. You can enter once like for the first one, mostly in 1 hour and 4 hour, because you can find an entry in 5 minutes or 15 minutes. But after that, but don't go and do it in 5 minutes or 15 minutes. You can miss opportunity. It is best to enter in mediums more on 4 hour daily, 1 hour too. Like this is a 4 hours, 4 hour. You can be finding some opportunity in 15 minutes to enter here, and it will give you a long trend because that medium rail is just another great opportunity for you to enter. For example, you could have entered just at this inverted Kijun or this KSB Tenkan inverted for a buy. That's the opportunity that you can get in lower time frame. Because when you see it in higher time frame, you can actually find opportunity down. Anyway, let's keep going. Now you have the Python. You have the young Python, the adult Python, the Python horizontal, the Python navel snake, the Python running vertically. All of those Python. Let me start with the young Python. The young Python is just like after the cloud, right? Let us take this example. This can be the perfect example. You see, after the cloud, what happened is that you have first of all the young space, but after that, you have something that is starting to become big, like big. So this can be the young space, right? It is think the space between Tenkan and Kijuna is still small here, but at this point it becomes a little bit fat big. So when it becomes a little bit fat big here, I call it the young Python. Then you can find an opportunity to enter just at the young Python. But if he has snakes like Python navel snakes like this one, you don't find an opportunity. But after that, the Python become big like this. Like the space between Tenkan and Kijun become big. When you see Python, what's the meaning of even in Python? It means that the candle don't want to go higher compared to when you have the fusion. When you have the fusion, see the difference between the fusion and the young. You have a scale of 37 pips. But when this Python started just right here, you have only 10 pips increase of the trend of the candle going to the upside. So the Python is actually where you should start making the decision to withdraw some profit or to break even. Because if you enter just right here and then you are already at this level, you are actually making some good profit already, right? You are actually making some good profit. So if you want to decide to exit your position and go, it is also good. There is no problem. Because the fact that Tenkan and Kijun are becoming fatter and fatter, it means that the candle will not keep going up for a certain moment. So you have the Python navel snake. Python navel snake just means that the separation, the size between Tenkan and Kijun is very big. But Tenkan and Kijun are showing you um, inclination. Both of them are showing you inclination, but they they are showing inclination, but the size is big. It's not like this fusion. Tenkan and Kijun are showing the inclination, both of them here at the young space here. But the space between them is just how many pips? It is just 9 pips. But for the Python, it is already 28 pips, and 28 pips on USGP GP1 15 minutes is a lot. So Python navel snakes is a bet in your mind that the volume is a bet, can bet you that, can bet and can clickbait you, can make you think that the intention, because you see the snake, the intention is still bullish now, is still to the upside now with a higher power, with a high, a lot of strength or a lot of power, a lot of speed. But no, when you start seeing the snakes, the Python snakes like this, right? It is instead a short reversal signal, because the separation is big. It's not because you've seen the snake that you will think that it will go to the upside with a lot of speed. No, what break the speed of the snakes is the big this big separation. That's why you have a small correction to the downside. And after that, you have the Python running incline. What do I call Python running incline? You can see Tenkan and Kijun, right? Being bigger like this fat, but they keep going up, they keep going up together. That's what I call it running incline. That's what's happened here. You see the fat, but they keep going together to the upside. But during that time, you will not see the candle having a big move like this. You will see instead some correction and some wicks. Okay, so be aware of that. And then you have the Python rail. The Python rail is just at this point, just here. The Python rail is just here. The Python rail just means that, okay, we have been moving to the upside with a big space together. Now let us pause a little bit, and then you will start the candle going down with red candles. And then you have the Python in reduction. The Python in reduction means that, okay, you know that the trend can continue. After you see a Python, the trend can rather can reverse to the downside, then can going below, then can going below, or it can continue to the upside. So what's the meaning of that? The meaning of that means that I wanted to show you that if a ticket is fat like this, the common way to reduce this ticket is Tenkan going down like this, right? And meeting Kijun to the downside. But that's one way. But the other way is also that Tenkan can stay above and Kijun go and meet him before continuing to the upside. That's two ways to reduce the fat. So this was a Python, right? That was very big, very fat. But what do you realize? It is Kijun that went to the upside to reduce the space between them. Because here the space was 35 pips, and then here the space is 19 pips. But who meet who? Kijun went and meet up Tenkan. It's not Tenkan that reduced, no. That went down. Okay. So that is also a Python in reduction. So you need to be aware that if you have a higher time frame that confirms you that even though you have a Python here, we will not make a reversal like you go in 1 hour. uh, you see, what confirms you in 1 hour that we continue to the upside? In 1 hour, you have skinny snakes, nervous snakes going up. That's the speed that proves you that even though you see in 15 minutes this type of Python, that's even rail type of pattern. Rail meaning the rail always means a reversal, right? But that always can be not always. If in higher time frame you see a nervous snakes breaking the speed, because 1 hour speed break the 15-minute speed. That is the confirmation that we are keep going to the upside. That's why you will know that the Python will reduce by Kijun meeting Tenkan to the upside and Tenkan keep going up. That's how the reduction of the fat from year to year will happen. In the sense where Kijun is will go higher further. So Python already reduced and ready to continue. So let us go back where we had our Python. So this is even the best way to look at it. Let me go on 15 on Dow Jones, on the Dow Jones. Um, okay, let us look at this one. Let's look at this one. This is a perfect example. Sometimes you can look at this as a Python, right? And then Kijun come and reduce. But Tenkan and Kijun will not cross down. They will instead keep moving to the upside. After the reduction, you will not have a TK cross going down like this. It happened a lot on indices like Dow Jones, gold, BTC, Bitcoin, SP 500. Then after you reduce, it is ready then to continue. When you see a reduction of a Python like this, and you have a confirmation higher time frame, like let us put a vertical line here and check if in 1 hour you have a confirmation that it will go to the upside. Yeah, you have a confirmation because this is the fresh crush to the upside. Yeah, that's why you're right. And what did we have in 4 hour? In 4 hour, we had a fat. Okay, so you had a confirmation that a dunk 4 hour, a ticket costs 1 hour, that it is about to go to the upside. So that's why it will reduce, then continue. That's when you know that it continue. Then Python, Python and mediums speed and even young. No, let us say Python and medium are holding a place where you hold the position. Don't start entering too much there unless you are in a higher time frame and then you can find an opportunity. But Python specifically, you see in 15 minutes and your entry is 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Hold. Those are holding position. Speed. Those are holding speed. This is why you need to hold. Those are not best entry in lower time frame. These are more holding point. Uh, ah, Please let me make a pause. Oh, I'm speaking since. Okay, so now fat Kobe. Now those are now withdrawal point where you withdraw your profit or where there is a reversal. So the fat Kobe, for example, is the place where you need to take your profit. For example, this in this in this 4-hour trend, this one is a fat Kobe because TK is very fat. Let me go and do it on the Dow Jones and on the USD JPY specifically. So when the trend is already fat like this, one TK is already like this fat, you need to withdraw your profit. The intention of Ishimoku showing that fat, showing that shape is to tell you that get out of your position. Just get out of your position and then take your profit. Because if you have been in the trade since this point, there's no reason why you should not exit your position. This is 1 hour time frame. You could have entered in 15 minutes and placing your stop loss just somewhere like this. And then you have some 7 risk what? That's already good for you to exit the position because this is a fat Kobe. And at the same point, it is a withdrawal point, it's a take profit point, but at the same time, it is a reversal where you can sell. You can actually sell just right here, right? You can sell just right here on this inverted Tenkan. This is an inverted Tenkan, right? Inverted Tenkan is that you have a fat like this and Tenkan is bending down now. Then you have a wick of a candle or a boji of a candle above an incline to the downside Tenkan, like what we have now. This is a inclined downside Tenkan, and then you have a wick here. That's an inverted Tenkan. You can sell inverted Tenkan. Yeah. When you sell it, if in your mind you have difficult inverted Tenkan are not yet clear to sell, you can literally go just here. You can literally just go just here in 15 minutes. You have opportunity to sell just right here, right? You have a KSB 15 minutes and you can start selling KSB. If embedded Tenkan are too risky or too unclear for you, 15 minutes can give you KSB or ticket cost before the cloud where you can sell. Okay, so the goal is for your brain to assimilate those setup very well, clearly, in a more clearer way. So now we have so the fat Kobe can is a take profit and reversal at the same time as I wrote here. So now we have a care. You have an care. An care is also a take profit point. Let us take, for example, this care, just right here on Dow Jones. See, if you went down in lower time frame, like 15 minutes, this is a 1 hour time frame now. You went down on 15 minutes and then you sold just here. You sold here. When you see an AK just as this candle, like this, just withdraw your money because the market is not about to continue down. AK is just a signal of reversal of the market. It's a signal of reversal. Take your profit and start looking for buy after the AK. Take your profit because this is 1 hour. If I go on 4 hour, what do we see on the 4 hour? We see that we have where the AK is, we have an inverted Kijun, which is a sign of what? Or reversal to the upside. So if you sold just this SSB 4 hour, take your profit on the inverted Kijun and exit and go. Don't force the thing. Don't be too much greedy. This is basically an indices. Dow Jones and indices most of the time go to the upside. So when you sell indices, be aware of where you can stop selling, stop your sales, take your profit. Okay. Because most of the time people don't even sell indices. They just buy. They are just looking for spot to buy, to buy. Now you have a curtain that covers. So when you see this, what is a care here? I had a care somewhere. A care doesn't happen a lot, but when it happens, it's a huge confirmation. When you see, for example, this, um, when you see, for example, this, a care, there are sometimes, this is the a care, right? Kijun staying flat, Tenkan bending down. There are sometimes candles are going down inside the AK like this, and then they turn back to the upside like this. And other times, candles are going outside of the AK, like this one. This one candle went outside of the AK before turning like this to the upside. Those are two different type of movement of the AK. That's why I'm saying that this is the AK, normal AK, and this is the AK where they can cover the candles. It's the best time to enter here at the reversal. Anywhere here, anywhere inside the inverted Tenkan here. You can enter inside the reversal here when you see an AK. You will not be threatened by anything because it's a huge sign of a reversal. You will not be threatened by even this retracement. Your stop loss here will not be threatened. So then you have the fresh ride. The fresh ride, is just a ride that just what I call fresh ride. Any ride make the price reverse at least one time. Let me look at it in the gold. Rise happened a lot on pairs like gold, Bitcoin. That's a medium ride. Let me look at fresh ride. The size is not that big, and it's not something that lasts too long for too long. Okay, this is a fresh ride. See the separation between Tenkan and Kijun, isn't it? It has a size. This is the size of it. When you compare it, and it's just even this one at the beginning of the exit is also a fresh ride. It just happened. But I would more call it medium than fresh ride, medium ride. But this is a fresh ride. When the TK is already went up for a certain time above the cloud, then it creates this ride. But after the fresh ride, you can have also the medium ride, which the size between Tenkan and Kijun is more large, like this one. This is even a fat rye. Anyway, this is basically this is even huge. Like this is even a fat rye, right? But fat rye that I'm talking to in the document are more larger. You see how fat it is when you compare the three sides. The fresh one is just normal. The medium one is just there. Then the fat rye is just there, just too huge to keep going down, to keep going, to follow the continuity of the orientation of TK. So uh, I struggle to find any fat rye just below here. Okay, maybe we can have something here. How fat how fat is this? You see the red, right? The red doesn't last long. Like those, for example, this plateau tenkan and this plateau tenkan. How long did they did they last? Like 2 hours, 1 hour maximum. It doesn't last long, but it happens because the trend is in a constant changing behavior, right? Uh, so this one is fat, like huge for 98 pips. That is huge for 1 hour USD GPY in terms of number of people for the fat. But compare it to this one. This is only 35 pips. This is a fresh rye. So 98 and 35. 98 is 3 times the fresh rye. This is a fresh rye. This is fresh, but this is a fat rye. Anyway, let's keep going. Eke in reduction. When the Eke is in reduction, you can actually have uh, take reversal sales opportunity when it start to reduce. Uh, like okay, just right here. So the reduction of this Eke start in this inclination. That's why you know that the reduction of an Eke start. Then this Tenkan inverted Tenkan is an option, is an opportunity for you to buy just here. Go on 15 minutes. You can buy here. What will you buy here in 15 minutes? You will literally buy this inverted SSA, right? You have an opportunity to buy. Or if you want to wait too much, the KSB Tenkan Kijun. Anyway, now you have the fat dunk. The fat dunk is easy. For example, the candle were going down just at this point. And then you have this huge fat of TK, huge fat, huge fat. Then this candle made a dunk, right? The Kobe dunk. It is a take profit if you went and sell from here to down, just down there, is a take profit. And at the same time, is an entry, a reversal entry. Like the earliest one, the earliest of the earliest, even though it can be tricky if you miss the direction sometime, but it's the earliest if the direction is founded by you at the same times. So the fat starting to reduce. When the fat start to reduce, for example, in this same example, you can no, let us you take another example in 1 hour maybe. When the fat start to reduce, you can have opportunity. For example, yeah, you can also, this was the fat, right? This was a TK fat. You have opportunity to sell here in this inverted Tenkan. So how do you know that the fat started to reduce when Tenkan was going up? Now, when you see this inclination of Tenkan downside to the downside, then you have the fat Kamehameha, fat reduction Kamehameha. What do I call fat reduction Kamehameha? Everybody knows Dragon Ball Z and all. Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z, the Kamehameha, all of those Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. We all knows that, right? Everybody have a TV. Maybe girls don't know. Some girls who are in my group will not know Dragon Ball Z, but I mean, boys know, right? The Kamehameha is a I'm looking for the right place, the right example. It happens very often. For example, if you want to create a correction, let us take this example. The candle are up here, but you cannot go further upper than this. But at the same point, you will see Kijun going to the upside, but Tenkan going to the downside. And it creates, like, if I have my hand like this to make a Kamehameha, you need to have one hand above, the second hand below like this, before shooting the power, right? This makes like Kamehameha, and then those are your thumbs, up the thumbs, and then you shoot the power. That's how the hands are placed. So it's the same thing for Tenkan and Kijun. It's a great sign of reversal, of continuity of reversal of the trend. When you see that, it happens a lot because it's even logical. It's even logical. For this trend, for example, for this trend to reverse, to have this ticket close to the downside, like first of all, you had Kijun going up like this and Tenkan going to the upside. But if the trend has to reverse to the downside, Tenkan must start going down from here, and Kijun must go up, keep going up, right? Before making a curve above here. So in this place, you have literally a Kamehameha like this, right? This is the Kamehameha. That's the normal behavior of a reversal, of a reduction. So you can look for cells at that point. Now you have fat already reduced. Yeah. When the fat is already reduced, now you need to look at if it's a correction. Like for example, when TK cross just right here, it's already reduced. You don't have any more fat. Now it will be a correction that will start, so you can stay in position if you sold from above. When you sold from above here, So then the correction is finished. How do you know that the correction is finished? Let us take this example that we have in. Since this is the correction, right? This whole part is the correction. The candle went down. How do you know that the correction is finished? Just is that when you start seeing a Tenkan bending to the upside here, then the correction is finished. Tenkan bending to the upside, then the correction is finished. Fufu is finished. That's the speed. Okay, when the correction is finished, it means that this speed is finished to the downside, right? The potential of this trend continuing down is finished. Now you need to have, we need a new, is a start of the new speed starting in. So you can start having entry here. It's a phase of the speed. So now you have fufu is finished. Normally, when you have this fufu, the end of this fufu start here. When the inclination start keep going up, and you can confirm it with a higher time frame, like 4 hour inclination, right? If I place a ruler just right here, a vertical line, you will see that we are about to go up. That's why the fufu is finished. Yeah, and you have more strength to keep going to the upside. So after that, let's now talk about the scissors. I need to write it like the scissors in English, but I will not write it in the right language. I will leave it like that. Scissor is a reversal sign of the cloud. So for the cloud to start showing a bullish cloud, a green bullish cloud, and you had a SSA below SSB. For it to go to the upside, SSB must keep going down while SSA go up. That's what's happening here. I've shown you it many times in the past already. Scissor is a very good sign. When the scissor started just, yeah, the candle were just at this candle. So when you see scissors, is a good speed of reversal. This one is a good speed of reversal. Don't wait the cloud to cross. Only here you can start buying because you are seeing scissors. Don't be afraid of scissors. The curve is a reversal, everybody knows. But let me just repeat again. The reversal of a curve is confirmed when you break a plateau. Let me just repeat again. You need to have a perfect U shape to confirm that we are going to upside. For example, here, it is only when we broke this plateau and the cloud was here and the candle were just at this candle that we knew that we are going down. It's only here that we knew that we are going down from here. But don't wait for it. Those are just extended curve. Don't wait for the curve. You don't wait for the curve to enter. Just understand the speed. Those are not decision-based, entry decision-based. You don't enter based on speed alone. Anyway, not all speed. There are some speed like first called fusion, skinny, and young that you can enter based on it, right? Like at the beginning here. Those are first course, fresh course. You can enter based on it, but not based on the curve. Don't enter based on the curve. The curve is just for you to understand what is happening. It's an element of awareness, one logical element of intention. Okay. And you don't rely only on one element. So now let's look at this Tenkan incline to the upside and Kijun plateau. What does that mean? What does that mean? I need to look at live example. I really want live examples for all of this, for the remaining one. Let me try to look at it in 15 minutes. The example I want is that Tenkan must be inclined like this and Kijun must be plateau. Like Tenkan, Kijun. That means what? That means that if the candle are just there above, the candle will tend to go toward Kijun. Because Kijun work like a magnet that attract the price toward him. When it behaves like when it turns into a plateau, the candle will go toward him. And that's exactly what happened here. I struggled to find a live example, but let's look at this. Tenkan was inclined to the upside here, and Kijun was a plateau. So since Kijun is even a plateau and Tenkan is inclined here, Kijun has attracted the price toward him. That's why when you see Tenkan incline and Kijun plateau, candle will go toward Kijun in the side to meet Kijun, right? Then you also have it the same thing in SSR incline and SSB plateau. So incline to the upside, not this inclination down now. I mean incline to the upside and SSB plateau. So let us look at this point. When we add this inclination to the upside here, the candle were, let us start with this inclination just right here. Okay. So let's start here. The cloud was there and the candle was this candle. You see that candle went to the direction of what? Of SSB. Even though SSA is inclined to the upside, it did not follow the SSA direction. You get what I mean? This plateau of SSB attract the price. When you have something plateau for SSB and SSA inclined to the upside, SSB will attract the price toward it. So after that, we have a Tenkan plateau now and Kijun incline. Tenkan plateau and Kijun incline is a reversal opportunity. Let us take this one. You realize something. It doesn't happen often, but it happens always on reversal. So when you will see Kijun incline like this, all of this is an inclination, but you see here, you have an inclination of Kijun to the upside, but Tenkan is plateau. What happened here? The candle are just going down. and this fact that Kijun is inclined and Tenkan plateau doesn't happen always. It happens only on reversal. That's what I realized. Most of the time, you will see plateau of Kijun and Tenkan, or inclination plateau like this, or inclination of Kijun and Tenkan like. But when you see inclination and plateau, this is a reversal. And it doesn't last long. It is just like that Tenkan plateau is just like few minutes. Like for example, this one is just like 30 minutes, right? Kijun was inclined, it's just like 30 minutes. This one was 45 minutes. It doesn't last long, those plateau of Tenkan. That's why you need to be aware of it. When you start seeing it, change your mind. Start selling your shit. Start selling. Start withdrawing your profit if you bought it. Even here, what happened here? The plateau of Tenkan started here, but the inclination of Kijun was since kept going up, but Tenkan started becoming a plateau. And then what happened is a sign of what? Of you withdrawing your money. Because when it will happen, you will be like this. You will not be knowing the future candle. It will be like this. You see, when you look at the left side of the right side of the screen, Tenkan is in plateau, right? Is in plateau shape, but Kijun is going to the upside. That is then the moment when you know that you need to withdraw your money. It is a clue, a sign of you exiting. And if it happen on 4 hours, for example, it's a sign of you taking a reversal in lower time frame. For example, here, do we have it here? This is a plateau. No. We have something here. Yeah, we can have something here. Yeah, we can have something here. Most of the time, it's both are plateau, but when Kijun keep going up and Tenkan is stay plateau. So the plateau started at this candle, but the plateau continue here. Kijun kept going up, but the plateau of Tenkan stayed. So all of this was a what? Take your profit and start selling me education, isn't it? If you bought somewhere in lower time frame and you have something like this, like 15 people, just sell, just take your profit. 14 risk reward, 14 RR is already good. And then start selling because Tenkan, this configuration is a sell. And by the way, when you do the full analysis, you will realize here that it was a weekly twist that or a setup, a weekly setup just right here. Let us just do it. Let's just look at that setup together. Rather than me telling you, let me go on weekly. You see that is a Kijun what? Kijun setup, isn't it? It is a Kijun setup weekly. A weekly Kijun setup just right here. That's why you have that sell-off, right? That's why you have that sell-off at that point. So it happened on setups. So it's not like an aqua speed. That speed make you identify it. It is the same thing with SSA. SSA can be plateau and SSB keep going in, keep having an inclination. It doesn't happen always, but when it happens, it is a clear sign of stop your position, take your profit, and take me in a reversal mode so that you can keep earning money. I see that it happens also. It happened also here. Let me take SSA plateau, SSB going up. This SSA plateau, you have a plateau here. Even from here, right? This one have those inclination are not perfect plateau. Those are not perfect plateau. I need perfect, and that's why I tell you that it doesn't happen often, but when it happens, it is very tight. Okay, let us take this one. It's very tight. It's very tight. It doesn't happen often, but the when it happens, you know what it is. Don't make as if you don't know. So at this point, SLB was still inclined. SSA was plateaued till here. You see that the inclination of SSB start will keep going down, like even instantly or still. So now the candle was at this point the candle was just here. So there is no point of you there is no point of you selling this just because you see a Tenkan going down below, right? There is no point of you selling this. This is the candle that you buy, but the volume, because you don't see this, because you don't see this inclined plateau SSR SSB, you think that because you have a separation of TK here below to the downside, you need to place your sell right here, stop loss here, and sell like this. But that will not be the case. And what confirmed this uptrend reversal? It is the fact that at the point where we were at that candle, right? At that candle, we was here in 4 hour making this uptrend move, right? Which were not very easy to look at it. If we go on daily, we're making this dunk. We were making this dunk just at that candle. So basically, we were at a inside a space. When the candle was at this point, you had a what? An inverted Kijun, right? So we are inside an empty space, and in daily, that shows a reversal sign. And in 4 hour, you had a dunk, a Tenkan dunk, right? Uh, in now here on 1 hour, you had exactly this candle that make you exactly this candle, right? Where there's this speed pattern. So, and that's all. So now let us do a live example in 1 hour time frame only. Now let's go on 4 hour. There's no problem. I will not do it in 1 hour. Let me go on 4 hour. Let me try to do it in 4 hour. Yeah, not try. Let me do it. So what speed do we have here? We have a fresh cross, right? A fresh separation, isn't it? When you go up and you start looking at medium horizontal, you have a fresh separation, right? Skinny. Yeah. Because we had first separation, then this one separated, then we can buy this, right? So that's the speed here. But for this one, we have what? A Python that is in reduction, that is already reduced and can give you a buy. That is a Python that is already reduced and ready to continue, like this one for Dow Jones. And then here we have fresh ride, isn't it? Fresh ride speed. Here we have a fresh ride, right? It's not clear. It means that the candles cannot go down further. That's why they are going up, because the fresh high is even double fresh high anyway. Double right. That is a non, I don't want to continue down. Why is it happening like this? Is it like in daily we have some, yeah, we have a daily setup, an SSA setup. And even in daily, we have a double fresh high too. So I don't want to go down in 4 hours. So I don't want to go further down. And in daily, since the current are below, I still don't want to go down too. So this is actually a good setup. So everybody want to go up now. But if in daily the candle were above here and we had a separation, a rail like this, a fresh rail, the candle wouldn't want to go up further. It will want to go up. So let us keep looking now at Bitcoin. Let us do the daily one. Daily one, what do we have? We have here a navel snakes, a skinny navel snakes. We had here a young type of move, but now we have a reduction, a medium reduction. I did not talk about the medium reduction, but yeah, it looked like a more of a young medium reduction. So with that said, go down and do all of this. I want you to duplicate this Google sheet and then identify each type of ticket volume and name it and give the reason why you name it. When I say each type, you need to send in the group your screenshot of all of this speed volume type, this type of speed volume. Send it in the group. All. I do not say, when I say each type, you need to identify it. Normally in live market, but if you don't see in live market, you can look at it in the whole market, because sometimes in live market will not show you all of this at once. Some can happen, some cannot happen. But give names and give reason why. That's how you can participate. And then look at what other students did. Don't criticize, and then stay positive.